Heyo everybody, Haku here with a certain magical index 3 or Toaru Majutsu no index 3 episodes 16 and 17, a double review. Because I am like 4 episodes behind, I'll hopefully tomorrow do 18 and 19 and then be all caught up. So, sorry about that. So, I was sick like two weeks ago maybe, and I've been trying to catch up on everything since then. And I was thrown so behind with index that it was like hard to even get motivation to catch back up. I was so far behind. So there have been some kind of back and forth issues with this season of this series. There are things that are good, but despite being good, you can tell they're kind of rushed, and things that are just super rushed, and it takes away from the goodness of it. But I really enjoyed these 2 episodes for what they were a lot. And I've heard that the next 2 were really good too, and really well done. So I'm excited to see what they're like. I'm excited to watch them and review them tomorrow. But yeah, either way, these 2, if there is one way I could describe them, it would be chaotically packed with content. Like a million things happened every episode. It felt like there's no way they did all of that in 24 minutes. It felt like I just watched a 2-hour movie. But no, it was really only like 24 minutes. Despite feeling like a 2-hour movie, there was so much that happened. So it was absolutely packed with content, and it was chaotic. There were a lot of things that were like, you could tell it was rushed. It felt like we didn't really miss out on too much, but at the same time, it felt pretty rushed. Like, in a balanced way. I don't know, it's weird to say. On the one hand, I'm not going to complain about that because I feel like we didn't really miss out on anything plot-wise. On the other hand, it is just so crazy and chaotic that it is hard to tell what's going on. If I was somebody who was just an anime-only watcher, I would be so lost. And, like, especially if I was just, like, casually watching this, not really paying attention, like I'm actually paying attention to review it, I would be so lost on the story right now. So I guess that takes away from it some, but on the other hand, it's so chaotic that it's just so interesting to watch. I would much rather it be all over the place and crazy than for it to be boring, you know? So let's start talking about episode 16 from the beginning. So, starting off, Takitsubo calls Hamazura as he has a gun to the head of a helicopter pilot. She mentions there are 10 terrorists, and then him jumping out of the helicopter into the tree. I was like, oh my god, he would be incredibly dead, probably. He would be skewered a lot, even though it's a fake tree. And he did hit the ground really hard, directly on his lower back, even after all of that. But whatever, I know, it's an anime. I just thought that was so funny to watch. So the terrorists are apparently working with Stephanie, but we find out later on that of course she was just using them as bait, really. Accelerator attacks, takes them down, and then there's this old guy there that also is doing that called Tsukitani, so there's that. We don't really get a full explanation of what's going on with him yet, but Accelerator then calls Tsuchimikado to say he needs to check for traps there, and he finds Takitsubo. And we have this stupid-ass misunderstanding trope where 2 characters misunderstand each other, and it causes them to fight, and all the viewers out there aren't actually that interested in them fighting because they're like, why are you being so stupid? Just literally talk to one another or take a half-second longer to assess the situation. So we have the stupid misunderstanding trope, and Accelerator just kicks Hamazura's ass and leaves. Saya gets shot at by Stephanie. We have the knowledge that Shiukishi betrayed group. Like I said, there's just so much chaotic stuff going on. The student from before saves Accelerator, the guy who his teacher was the pregnant one who got saved, and he seemed really attached to her. So is that his kid? Is he like with the teacher? Either way, student from before saves Accelerator because it just happens to happen. Accelerator is like the luckiest man alive in these 2 episodes. Kind of, I mean, the luckiest man alive given his situation, I guess. He always manages to luck his way out of every situation in a really convenient way. But Monica is coming back into the story, and when she does, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm wrong, Monica looks different, like really different than she did when we saw her in like episode 2 or 3. Or actually, she might have been in episode 1. But yeah, Monica looks way different here. Don't really get it. But, yeah, hold on, where was I actually in my notes? So yeah, Monika's coming back into the story. We learned that Shiokishi was threatening her, and that's why she was doing the thing she was earlier in the series. Accelerator decides, you know what, because of that, I'm going to leave her out of it. I'm the villain. I can handle this myself. But she's like, no, I'm actually going to help you now because of this. And because this little kid that he saved earlier was there. And again, why was this kid here? I was so confused. And that's one of the things where, because of it being rushed and because of these 2 episodes not being like 6 episodes and things being left out, there was so much that it's like, okay, this is happening now. We're getting to see it happen, but all the build up to it and transition between it and logic about it's left out. But I don't know, it was just chaotic seeing important point after important point without any of the transition or explanation in between. So the kid's just here now, and Monica also just is there outside and decides, yeah, I'm actually going to help you. And yeah, she looks different. I don't know if it's just me, but she looked different. Back to Stephanie fighting against Sai, and Stephanie's nya-ha-ha laugh, I loved it. Her nya-ha-ha laugh, oh, it was so good. I loved her laugh. We learned that the base that Shiokishi's using has an AIM jammer. Sugitani then takes down Musajime as they get separated from Monica, and he reveals his name as Koga. So all of that happens. Then Monica is talking with Shiokishi, and bam, reveal, Monica was at Sali all along, and Shiokishi's completely screwed. Then Tecpottle and Tochito out of nowhere. I legit screeched. I was like, what is this? It was so good, because I don't know. It was so out of nowhere, but it was so entertaining. I don't know if it's like the train wreck effect, where you can't look away from it, but I really enjoyed these episodes legitimately. Because of how crazy all over the place they were, it kept me like totally invested, because I have to take notes on this, and especially with the second episode it was difficult to take notes while watching because there's just so much happening all the time. But I would so much rather have a series with so much happening all the time than for it to be boring. So a part of me appreciated it because I wasn't bored while watching. But yeah, Tecpottle and Tochitli out of nowhere, and they're not really, nothing about them's really explained here. So yeah, again, it's one of those things that just happens, but we get no explanation of why it's significant or why it's happening or any of the important stuff about it. It just happens. So yeah, and that's the end. We have a new ending, which is nice. Nice and all, it's whatever. Opening 2, I think, is coming in episode 18 or 19, but we had no opening in 16, and I don't think an opening or an ending in 17. The credits were both kind of cinematically put in the episode, and I say all the time one of my favorite things about anime are openings and endings. I am a sucker for anime openings. I think they're one of the best parts of being a fan of anime, but it did feel kind of nice and kind of cinematic to just not have them. So there's a part of it that I liked about this, and a part of it where I was like, I kind of want the opening. But either way, that was the end of episode 16. It was absolute chaos. It was nuts. If you couldn't tell by me trying to go through and explain what happened and give thoughts on it, it was absolute chaos. But it was really fun. So I think that kind of makes it more important. It did definitely feel a bit rushed. Even talking back through it and trying to explain it, I'm noticing even more how there were kind of logical things just left out, but it mostly still felt fine. It felt more packed with content than it felt rushed. So it was more a good thing than a bad thing, but at the same time, you have to admit it's certainly not perfect. But I loved it. I would give it 8.25 new waifu swerves, with the one girl, was she Tochitli pulling off the mask? Yeah, new waifu swerves out of 10, and then she doesn't do anything really the next episode. But either way, we'll get to that. 8.25 out of 10. because I was really struggling whether to give it an 8 or an 8.5. So now let's think about episode 17. So episode 17 starts off, Tochitli lost her bones, apparently. Most of her bones, it would seem. It's okay, boneless waifu is still good. I prefer boneless waifu. So Tochitli lost her bones. It is what it is there, I guess. Koga's bringing up the strategies used by both Kakine and Kihara Amata. Yeah. So he brings up their strategies, and he's totally wrong about Kakine putting in work, because Kakine didn't really do anything to Accelerator anime-wise. In the light novel it was maybe a bit different, but in the anime at least it seemed like Accelerator just whipped his ass in less than 5 minutes. So yeah, his strategy most definitely wasn't a good one to use against Accelerator. But either way, we have these fights all going on at once. We have the Sai fight, we have the Accelerator fight, and we've got the Kinoa, or I said Kinoata Sai, the Sai fight, the Accelerator fight, and the Etzali fight, all going on at the same time. We're jumping around between them, and again, it was really fun and entertaining to watch. If the anime was a bit low animation was a bit low quality at times. So all of those have this twist where they seem like they're over for the moment, and then Tecpottle plays himself. He is destroyed by himself because of what Etzali does, but again, none of it was really explained. It just kind of happened. I'm sure there was an explanation in the light novel. Another anime would have probably had a minute or two, or at least 30-second explanation of all these different concepts that were going on, but no, it just kind of happened, and we just kind of have to go with the flow. Then we have Accelerator's Kane is actually a jammer to jam the IM field jammer that's jamming his ability to use his powers. So because of that, he can use his powers, and he kills Koga, I think. I don't remember if he actually killed him or not, but I believe he did. So we learned that the people are actually after Hamazura at the end of the Sai fight, because the girl in dress kind of betrayed them and set this all up, including Stephanie, set it all up. It was a plan above a plan that has another plan above it if you count Alistair's. But yeah, the girl in the dress betrayed them, and it's because Alistair can use Accelerator and Toma as kind of these rogue factors in his plan, but Hamazura is like an extra rogue factor that is too much. It exists outside of what the plan currently is. So again, they're kind of just building up Hamazura as this character completely without powers, who is still useful in things and is making his own way, which is cool. Hamazura is a cool character. I like him. Then, before his death, Shiokishi is mentioning that Dragon is everywhere, and then behind them, taking it down all the members of group except for Accelerator, is Iwas, who gave Alistair knowledge all that time ago. Mukino then is back now missing her eye and arm. I may be remembering things from the light novels incorrectly. I'm not going to spoil anything for the future, but correct me if I'm wrong on this. I thought when she fought Hamazura the first time is when she lost her eye and arm and all that stuff. I don't remember that being at this part in the story. So, did they remix things, or I might just be remembering incorrectly? Maybe I'm being dumb. But yeah, Mugino's back, and now she's missing an arm and eye, and we didn't really see the blowing off of the arm and eye, but it is what it is. So, Iwas calls himself the Glab. No, he calls himself something, but it's censored out, and some of his words are censored out because they're angel words or whatever, and humans can't understand them. But he brings up that Alistair's plan's already falling apart anyway, so like, I don't know, this is where things get height of confusing. Things were confusing and all over the place beforehand, but this whole Iwas stuff was like peak confusing and all over the place. So it's like, being someone who knows light novel stuff, and in addition to that, I'm watching this really closely and taking notes and paying really good attention and stuff. even I am really confused by what the hell's going on. So as a casual viewer, as a viewer that's anime only watcher, I can only imagine how confused you must be at all this, because this is convoluted. This is all over the place. This is I have no idea. I lost the Collab Go Gap Collab. Alistair's plan's falling apart anyway. Accelerator gets just fucked up, and then he starts using angel words too. They have an angel fight, and Accelerator still gets all fucked up. Hamazura and Mugino fight some more, and we get the reveal that Kakine is still alive because Mugino brings up, this is what they do to our bodies. We're not allowed to die. Not me or Kakine. So he's still alive somewhere. And of course I know how that works, but I'm not spoiling anything. And yeah, so Accelerator ends up getting the win, kind of, by seemingly jamming the AIM fields that are keeping Iwas together. But that should have also killed him. But it didn't work because he's still alive, but also Iwas comes back and everything to deliver more of a speech. So yeah, all over the place. Very confusing. Oh my gosh, then what else happened? Right as Hamazura is escaping, Mugino still saves him. She still knocks the stuff out of his way as he's escaping and those people are chasing after him. So yeah, there's that hint for future stuff, possibly, probably. Hamazura and Takitubo kiss, and they're kind of like together now, which is good. Accelerator is all of a sudden on a train with Last Order. How did Last Order get there? We haven't seen her in forever. Where was she before? None of this makes any sense. It's all over the place, but I think everybody's going to Russia. Okay, like this is really all over the place. It was, toward the end of this, kind of a mess. I mean, a very entertaining mess, I guess, train wreck syndrome, but yeah, it was nuts. It was very rushed as usual, but it was full of content. I don't know whether to say it was good or bad, but I was entirely entertained by it. That is the best way to describe this season of anime. I don't know if it's good or bad, but I'm entirely entertained by it. So yeah, it was absolutely nuts. It was even crazier than the first episode, probably. Just chaotic content. And yeah, pretty confusing. Even for me, like I said, who knows the light novel stuff, really confusing. Yeah, no clue. I'd give it 7.75 collabs out of 10. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a higher score than it deserves because of the rushed part, but I'm giving it a high score because of the entertaining part. I don't know what to say about this anime any further, so I'm going to end the video, and tomorrow I'll review the next two. I had a lot of fun with it. I enjoyed it. It was chaotic. I don't know if it was good because it was rushed and it left out a lot of things that make storytelling work, but it was fun, I guess. Just like if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought. I was probably looking at my notes, like looking over a lot during this video too, so sorry about that. I know sometimes it doesn't make for the most appealing video. And also I tried to speed things up because if I talked in depth about every little thing and tried to work out every little thing, this would probably be a 9-hour long video. But yeah, I guess like if you did like the video, and comment down there to tell me what you thought of these two episodes yourself and what you thought of my thoughts on them, because I'm actually really curious. Subscribe for more. Toaru Majutsu Index 3, much more on the channel, and I'll likely also be reviewing the next Railgun season and the first Accelerator season whenever we get them. So yeah, there's all that. Like, comment, subscribe, follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel or talk to you there. And if you want a link to our Discord server to talk to me or more of us on Discord about this series or anything else, just ask and I can give you a link. That's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.